One of the hardest things for our youth ministry was going to each event that came up, knowing that he wouldn't be there, and knowing that one of the people that should be with us isn't. And I remember this past summer, our mission trip specifically was a very real challenge for us to go on the mission trip because somebody wasn't there that should have been there. And so each event was a different element of grief. And for students who had connected with him very closely and really on last year's retreat or last year's mission trip, those events were even harder. And so I gave voice to that, and I tried to recognize that with those students and be open about that, open about my own grief and my own hesitancy to go on some of those trips and to do some of those events. I was very honest with our teens that I wasn't looking forward to mission trip at all this year, because that was the trip last year where I had connected with him the most. So that narrative has changed, but is changing again. And I think that first year is maybe special, is maybe different, and that's okay. I get the sense that now, after a year, those events won't be as difficult. They'll still be hard, and there will be reminders when we go to a certain place, when we do a certain thing of our friend, but they won't be as challenging as they were in the first year. It's been interesting to see the students and how they've responded as a group. I think our students are more emotionally in tune than they were before. They're more aware of hurt. They're more aware of others around them. I think some of our students have grown in empathy in ways they hadn't before. It's been interesting to see our church and the change that's happened there. Some ways we've dropped the ball as a church, as every church does, and we have failed to care for the family. In other ways, we have done very well. And it's been encouraging to see adults and students alike ministering to the family by taking meals over to the family, by visiting the family, by writing note cards, by praying together, by surrounding each other. And I think one of the key elements for our church this past year that has changed the way we approach grief is our senior pastor took the whole season of Lent this year and did a series on sorrow. And each week we had an opportunity for people to express their loss and grief in unique ways during the Sunday morning worship services during Lent. And so one family's grief and loss and mourning became all of ours. And we were able to say, it's a normal part of life. And together we're grieving different and various kinds of losses. But that loss is normal, and processing those is necessary in the Christian journey.